Hi, Shane Bruce here. So the question, should you call city codes if you're a resident, tenant, occupant of a house of someone else who's, well, if you've seen the Bad Renovator series, there was rot, mold, floors falling apart for about 7 years. And those were repaired. There's a trustee of the state of Okie Jackson. If you want to see that, look at my Kindle series. But we were I was a solid partner in the real estate ventures of flipping houses. So it's not like we shouldn't have lots of experience, but apparently there is none in the rest of the family. I've never seen them turn their hand to anything. Well, no, I did see some finishing touches beside Okie by Carol once, but they stopped as soon as I came in. Oh, he'll do it. Anyways, I disagreed strongly with the causes of my death, dad's death. So, anyways, should you call a trustee? Well, it's chancy. Those repairs were done. You can see it in the Bad Renovator series. The floor was lifted. But you got to realize if you have a crazy or toxic or hostile landlord, or I mean, she's a trustee. She's obligated to it by his will, as a trustee of his will. But so she stopped renovations in the middle, leaving out the toilet to be installed, which took about 4 or 5 hours. But she waited a month on it, and we were seriously. The city codes called me today, said they weren't coming by. I sent them the video of the toilet working. Now, you saw the privy pit in there. That actually has to be connected to a sewage system. I put that in the description. There's reasons for that. I mean, the city gets money for sewage, and especially in Tennessee, everything's ran off utilities. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry where the head of TVA gets paid, I think, $19 million last year in compensation. So they have a reason to keep everybody in the city on sewage, and it's a lot of work to dig a privy. You have to do this probably every 3 or 4 days per human, per occupant, including visitors. So that's a lot of work, and it's just easy to be on septic, admittedly. But back to the question, should you call city codes? They were threatening to evict me because of the if she doesn't want the word incompetence, let's just call it a abnormal subconscious hostility or something. I mean, she's just crazily. I mean, she's a psych nurse for 50 years, right? She's not going to be normal. She's had that abnormal rubbed off on her 50 years and wallowed in it. So if it's not an emergency and it's called Munchausen by proxy, to cause as many problems as possible and say how put on they are by these problems. So they get themselves caused, like the mold from the wall or not having a toilet and last minute repairs before actual condemnation of the house. I mean, that would be a failure in assets and complete failure as trustee. And so you can call codes to shame a landlord, trustee, or whatever else into doing things, maybe. But if they fail, you're in trouble yourself. So stupid. Now, city codes does have certain powers. They could just charge the owner $50 a day per violation per day. So there's 3 violations, they're going to charge $150 a day. That's supposed to be the incentive. That's what we're told to expect from city codes. If the tenant has a problem with the landlord, they'll say, hey, call city codes. But the problem is if city codes are like a bunch of lazy bums and don't want to deal with it, they'll just condemn the house and say, why should I spend all my time on this? You're not paying rent, whatever else. I mean, it's just, that's between you and the lawyer. I don't want to be bothered with this. This is what you'll hear from city codes usually. It's just basically an ass there working for the city, trying to figure out how to get assets for the city and maybe get paid for a job. You got to realize ancient Rome that had plumbing. Now, in ancient Rome, public plumbing is as old as Rome, at least. They had aqueducts that came through the cities, washed the water down into two streams, the fresh water and the septic. Fresh water comes into each home, wash out the home into a septic center, and that I guess washed out to somewhere. I'm not really sure how they treated it. But Rome was overall a healthy city. But those are created by patrons. These patrons, great, noble, rich people who probably got there by slavery. No, there's no doubt about that. Would come and have these aqueducts built with their names on them saying Patronus, whoever has done this for us. And that's how plumbing was invented. Now it's a money game where cities want to appear as their own. But no, the city code should be able to fine a tenant's landlord $50 a day per violation. They can also, city codes, see, I actually read this. They're like, let me read that. The city codes can also cause repairs to be done. They can hire somebody else to do the repairs as long as the repairs are under 50% of the value of the house against the property owner. So the repair, now I'm probably going to start a whole new industry in La Follette here where people go, oh, these repairs need to be done in your house. They're going to come in and do them by order of the city. And that's just, well, I mean, it is what it is. And if the owner doesn't do them, the city is actually allowed to come and make repairs. Now, if it's over 50% of the value of the house, they condemn the house, take property of the house, and destroy it. This is what city codes is actually capable of. But they're not going to feel that destiny of like, we're going to take care of these houses and these people. No, they're going to sit on their asses and go, dang, do I want to be bothered with that? If you call me with your complaints, I'll just have you evicted, you asshole, you know. So, you know, they're supposed to be there for that. But in practice, probably not. And, you know, I've just demonstrated by the private privy that if you wanted to work at it every day, you could have a sanitary system on the par that's of anything else. And actually, if you're gardening, you want some of these holes filled with feces 3 and 4 feet deep for a tree or plants or anything else. It's nobody digs in Tennessee. That's what it is. It's heavy clay, red clay. It's hard to dig. Nobody wants to farm. They put some cattle on it. There's like a little surface type thing of anything that's all right. Unless you get a lot of dogs scratching there, then you get about 5 or 6 inches, 4 inches of good soil. But if you wanted to really overturn the soil, one privy at a time, the other videos, the way I showed you how to do it, and it'd be sealed, no flies, because you don't want flies going around biting you, flying in your house, ignoring you. You don't want other insects. You don't want Gandhi toxoplasma gondii, which causes it comes from rats and cats, and it confuses them and makes them all mental. It's in humans as well. It's an undercooked meat. There's probably hundreds of thousands of cases reported. They can't treat it, so they don't mention it. See, that's the whole thing about it. If they can't get money for it, these are not patrons we have elected as officials or appointed or anything else. These are not people saying, let me show you my grandiosity and ability to control, provide for everybody to benefit from. That's not what we have in government in the U.S. We have people who are there like, we're here to get the government's money, and this government protects me, so fuck you off. And that's what I basically got saying, hey, can you guide this, let's call her incompetent, that's too nice a term, let's call her a psychotic husband killer, matricide, whatever else is probably more appropriate. Does she know she's doing it? Who knows? She's an emotional ball of mass 24/7, always has been. In Kentucky, she used to, 40 years ago, she used to be able to, she was like refinishing furniture. One of these people, like you looked at it and go, hey, she knows what she's doing. Something happened. I don't know, she's working psych ward, got it. No, she was working medical supplies. I'm not sure what happened to her. Anyways, whatever your situation is, whatever your landholder, trustee, land rental company, whatever else, the practice is what, these officials who don't know anything, their job, or how to be a person, I'm going to be in charge of this from now on kind of thing, doesn't happen. He said, well, that's between you and your attorney, blah, 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 blah. And so it's accepted, and he's probably directed to this subconsciously. So is everybody else. Attorneys are the biggest money grab in the entire United States, is to take whoever it is to court to show these violations. But to have these violations on record, you'd have to call city codes. So the only time you probably should, if you're not risking it all like I did, which I'm freaking trustee, and I'm an able biological scientist. Well, I'm not really able. I'm hypertension. I have stress to be. I had my blood pressure at 160 over 110. You know, just stress is not good for me. It should cause stress. I was allergic to mold, and she actually caused mold in the house, in the wall. The condemnation of the house from lack of a toilet, she actually caused it. She said, "Stop work, don't put in the concrete board and install a toilet." $300 or $400 thing. When she spends $20,000, $10,000 or $12,000 to have the house diapered, and another $14,000 to put the crack in the wall supported to cause a flow into the house, which wanted it to have the house needed to be diapered. So my situation, I mean, if you see somebody causing problems, to complain about them and yell about them, get all emotional and throw tantrums about them, and then brag about how much money they're spending, they are psychotic. Okay, crazy. It's called Munchausen by proxy. But if you just got a lazy guy who doesn't want to do anything, city codes really fails because they should just fine the people $150 a day, and they're going, hey, this is going to cost me more than it would not to do it, or do the repairs, or you do the repairs yourself and take them to court and get paid for those repairs, or something. You don't want to get the building condemned per se if you're actually, really moved into it, really don't want to move out of it. I've got 40 medicine bottles over there that I have to take every day just to keep myself straight, bring my blood pressure down, chelate the heavy metal arsenic poisons out, replace with the minerals. I mean, it's a full-time occupation to be ill. It really is, especially if you're arsenic poisoning. And you're keeping dogs or whatever else, or, or it would be, if it's more convenient for you to dig a private privy, go find some woods. Of course, there's the refrigerator's out. That's just sitting over there. The air conditioning doesn't work. That just happened. So the refrigerator. The toilet was fixed. I had to basically shame her in front of every person on our Christmas mailing list and get that to happen. Because she's like, so what with city codes? Pressing the limits is what they call it in the psych wards. Mother, brother, all the rest, raised in a psych ward facility where my father and I would take care of them, or they would have to hire people to wash their clothes and cook meals for them. They did this for 15, 20 years. So they got that completely useless person mentality as a pure pressure system for 20 years. On them as it was, and they wouldn't. My brother, mother wouldn't work a single shift. So my father had to work these shifts, fix the houses, take care of the animals, and he put his life on hold for 15 years and was off for it. Really, if you look at the hospital homicide, that she would cause as many problems to the house to repair them as to cause as many problems to his health in order to granny eyes over it, and lost control and got him killed. That's pretty much it. Just one bad decision after another, and saying, why do I have to put up with it? Crazy. But city codes, we'll help putting those bastards in a contract saying, hey, I'll go through and cite them with fines until they repair it, or have the repairs done. Threaten to evict the complainer is actually not allowed even by the landowner. But the city codes guy thinks he can do it, so what are you going to do? It's a monkey world. So city codes, there's your thing. Should you do it? Should you not? They say to, but in practice, probably not. They're not going to help people. They're going to refer and say, talk to your lawyer, blah, blah, blah. And it's in-game court case anyways. And they were going to try to condemn and board up the house without even a hearing on a new violation of no toilet because all the mold had been removed, and said, oh, we sent you an email. Like 2 days later, we'll be there. What? It's just crazy, stupid stuff. And so, as usual, anything you've called from the government is going to be a problem, and it's going to be your problem. That's the basic of it. The government's a problem. All that can cause is problems. It's not supposed to be a problem. Make it actually come out here or come out into the town in general, not here anymore, I'm not going to call them. But they go out into town. If they had a competent person who had a management list system, I mean, it would take pretty much several residential managers' ability to do it, which, county codes people probably don't have. These people are electing janitors and offbeats, and people just fell out of some other service. The high school janitor is supposed to be now in charge of, wants to be the mayor. Same thing, the county mayor was a failed teacher who didn't really teach GED classes in jail. He couldn't look up a law in his own job. That's also in my this YouTube series, Campbell County Politics. So no, unless they're actually known for going through there and managing all the other houses, you would have to be the one to train the city codes person to do it. Now, if you guys want to hire me to go out there and bust your houses up and elect me for something, who knows, possibly. But the whole thing about politics is, you've seen on Westerns where they have to press somebody into service. Hey, you're going to be our new sheriff, and not let them out of it. Support them. I mean, you got to support the guys that you really want, but it's not the ones that are belling up for the easy job, the good job, or anything else like that. It's just real crap. No, I wouldn't call city codes unless you can do the repairs yourself and have the ability to take them to court yourself. Now, if you're doing all that while you have a bum as a landlord, why don't you have the land yourself? Well, that's pretty much it. My question is, why do we have bums as officials? Public officers. That's our question. Firebrands Watch. Now, tracking fault. Supported crack flooding the sub-basement regularly. Caused rot, caused rats. Fridge went out, no longer under warranty because it was once bitten, the wireframe was bitten, so it's only a year old. The missing shower, for instance, replaced with a mold, but it hasn't been installed. That goes back to the wall as well. The HVAC rats ate through the tubing, and maybe the moisture has messed up the controls. That's like all three. There's still 3 violations that could be called. Am I calling city codes on them? No. Am I public shaming on video? Yes, we are. Firebrands Watch. Take this attitude, take it toward your city, government, nation, just in general. You like on a political podcast, Campbell County, you see a food bank like Open Arms handing out 2,000 cases of botulism per week or per month. Make a video about it. This is what all this free video is for. And the government can't do it, or doesn't do it because they're lazy bums, won't do anything about it. But there's a 10th Amendment type thing where the government fails, as they seriously always do. It's power to the people as an amendment, constitutional.